Okay, guys, I'm just gonna hop right in. I'm gonna get real with you today. I am finding it really frustrating, especially with social media, that we've been very jumping in without really doing our research or finding what works best for us when it comes to nutrition and diet. And I think that I find it most frustrating that there's all these diets out there that are supposed to be these quick fixes and you're going to lose so much weight and get these results. And I find it really frustrating because a lot of times these things are like cutting major food groups, which if you're phasing your diet is fine occasionally. If you're trying to figure out if something isn't working for your body, that's great. But our body needs these nutrients, these minerals, and these vitamins that are in these foods. So I find it really frustrating, especially going through my nutrition course, that I'm seeing all these people doing these crazy diets where they're cutting out entire food groups. And they're losing weight and they're losing weight quickly. But the thing about losing weight quickly is generally 9 times out of 10, when you're losing that weight so quickly, as soon as you start adding those food groups back in, boom, here comes the weight plus more. I'll tell you that from experience. So I talked to you guys last week about how I was phasing my diet with keto-ish eating. I wasn't being super strict, but I was only getting my carbohydrates from veggies and very little, berries, things like that. So let me tell you what happened. I'm going to be 100% transparent here because I hope that somebody else can learn from what I've done. I put my body through a lot. I was a big girl. If you've been following me for long, I was very big. I was obese. I wasn't happy. I had tried all these crazy diets. And I've finally found something that works for me, but because I don't want my body to get used to, or hit a plateau or stop getting results, I thought I would try to phase in a keto-ish eating regimen. Just for I think I did it for a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. So while I was doing it, there's some things that I noticed. So there are pros and cons to it. I did notice that I wasn't able to lift as heavy when I was trying to lift. I had to down my weights. I didn't have much energy. I was tired. I felt very burnt out. But I was losing weight. Okay, so great, fine, awesome. Fast forward to this week, where I've added back in whole grains, I've added back in fruit, and things like that, the nutrients that my body needs, and lo and behold, my weight went back up to where I was when I started this keto-ish eating. So take it from me, your body needs the nutrients of a variety of different food groups. Cutting out a food group is a fad diet. I don't care if somebody is saying, well, this is a lifestyle, regardless, your body needs vitamins and minerals provided by, let's talk about carbs, for instance. Because I think a lot of people think that carbs are the enemy, but you have to know what carbs do, what the purpose behind them is, and what minerals, vitamins, and nutrients they provide your body. So there are 6 classes of nutrients. There are proteins, lipids, aka fats, and carbohydrates. And then there are minerals, vitamins, and water. Okay? So your body needs all these things. We know water is important. Your body is made up of, your body is made up of almost 60% of water. Water is essential. It lubricates your joints. It helps with bodily processes, things like that. Most people do not drink enough water. If you think you drink enough water, drink more. Guarantee you see better results. Okay. Aside from that, your body needs carbohydrates and fats, not one or the other. It needs both of them to function the way it's supposed to get the nutrients and the vitamins and the minerals. Your body needs carbohydrates. If you want to cut them temporarily, if you're trying to figure out if you're allergic to something or you have a sensitivity to something, that's fine. But your body needs carbohydrates. No, that does not have to be bread. That does not have to be pasta. That does not have to be rice. That can be things like oatmeal, quinoa, whole grains that are fiber filled. Your body needs fiber. Your body needs fiber to poop and do a lot of different things, but your body needs it. Your body needs the nutrients and the minerals, and you want to aim for nutrient-dense carbohydrates. We talked about this before. Sweet potatoes, whole foods. You don't have to eat bread to eat carbs. You can eat whole foods and still benefit from it. You don't have to cut out an entire food group. I get that you see on social media that so-and-so has picked this diet, they've cut out a whole food group, and they've lost a huge amount of weight in such a little time. Let me tell you about losing weight fast. I've already told you that when you lose it fast, if you don't sustain what you're doing, it's going to come back even faster and probably with more. The other thing is, if you're not losing slow and steady, if you have extra skin, if you are a bigger person and you lost very quickly, you're going to have extra skin. So you may have that regardless, but it's going to make it worse when you are losing the weight quickly. Your body and your skin does not have the elasticity to keep up with it. Keep that in mind. That also goes back to water intake and giving your body the nutrients it needs. Sorry I'm getting so passionate about this, but I've really seen this trend on social media of people doing these crazy diets where they're cutting foods. And somebody can argue, oh, this has been around for ages. Well, it was created for a purpose and for people who have serious issues. Okay, serious health issues, totally get it. But it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. I want everybody to recognize that. And I want people to recognize that slow and steady, there's nothing wrong with it. It took me 3 years to lose 90 pounds. But, that being said, I've done these crazy diets. I've put my body through a lot of things. I've cut out food groups. It's not enjoyable. What kind of diet tells you to eat a limited amount of fruit? You can only have a handful of berries. What? No. Because a handful of berries isn't going to give you the same nutrients that an apple is going to give you, or a banana is going to give you, or, you know what I mean? Like, I think you get it. It's so frustrating to me that everybody's out for a quick fix. Nobody wants to put in the hard work. Putting in the hard work means you're going to have sustainable results. You have to be accountable to yourself. You can't get pissed off when you go through phases of these diets and you're jumping from diet to diet and feeding into this diet culture, and then getting angry when you're not getting the results that you want. You don't have to be perfect all the time. You want to have treats. You want to enjoy things, especially in a social setting. Our food is such a social thing. When we eat, a lot of times it's not eating because we're trying to get a certain nutrient. It's because we're in a social setting where food is at the center of it, which is fine. You should be able to, you want to enjoy life while still getting results, and you can do that. But that doesn't mean you have to cut whole food groups. If you want to phase your diet, if you want to see what works for you, everybody is different. What works for you isn't going to work for somebody else, but find something sustainable. I've talked about this before. Sustainability is key in a lifelong journey. You are not in this for the sprint. You are in this for the long haul. So, let me give you an example. if you are wanting to lose weight quick, it's like sprinting. You're going to be quick, right? You want it to be quick. But you're going to be out of air, most likely. You're going to, burn out if you have to go long periods of time without something, without, running long distance. But when you're running long distance, you build stamina, you build endurance, you build willpower, and you're able to run longer distances. And the more you practice, so the more you practice your nutrition and find something that works for you, that includes all these nutrients and vitamins that you need and minerals, you are going to be in it for the long haul. And you're going to find that you're going to find a lifestyle that fits for you and a nutrition path that fits for you, that you're going to be able to still enjoy life and still have those treats and still be in those social situations and not feel awkward or feel like you have to hold yourself back, because that ends up, well, let me tell you, with cutting out carbs, for me anyways, once I cut out carbs, I still craved them. And when I added carbs back into my regime, even though they were fiber-filled, nutrient-dense carbs, I went crazy. I wanted every single carb that I could find. Granted, I was carb loading, but I wasn't doing it properly because I had deprived myself so long. Not even so long. A week and a half, 2 weeks. That's not a long time at all. And my body was like, where is our source of energy? Where are these nutrients that I need for this vitamin, this mineral? Where is my energy source so I can have the power to lift these heavy weights? My body wasn't happy. And being that I track that and I'm in tune with it, I can see that. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't take the time to get to know their bodies. They jump onto this bandwagon and then they go with it and they get the result and then they stop and then it all comes back and then they're frustrated. They're like, oh, well, this doesn't work. And, well, you have to find something sustainable. Quick fixes don't work. There are no diet pills. There are no diet wraps. Or there are no quick fix wraps. All that is water weight. And a lot of times that's what it is when you're cutting out carbs. You're getting rid of water weight. That's not sustainable. That's why you lose weight so quick. Please, I'm telling you, take it from somebody who's tried pretty much everything under the sun. You can do that, but I'm giving you advice and tips and trying to keep you from the mistakes that I made. Keep you from those binges. Keep you from feeling deprived and feeling hungry, but feeling guilty because you know if you eat an apple and you've not been eating carbohydrates, that your weight's probably going to go up the next day. Come on, guys. Let's think about it. We want a variety of food. We want fruits. We want veggies. We want whole grains. Whole food, whole grains. Things that come from the earth. Sweet potatoes. Quinoa. Brown rice if you want rice. Veggies. Fruits. Like, fruits aren't bad. And everything in moderation. That's balance and moderation and sustainability should all be words that you do use to describe your diet. And I know a lot of people are going to get defensive when it comes to cutting out carbs because it's what's worked for them. But I think that if they were to... The scary thing about it is these no-carb diets, and notice I'm saying no-carb diets. So these are diets that are depending on very little carbohydrates and, veggies like celery and, things like that, onions, things like that. They're not sustainable. Eventually you're going to go to an event, you're going to eat something that is not on plan, and you're going to downward spiral. And a sustainable nutrition path is not going to allow you to do that. You may have moments where, you're eating because, not because you're hungry, but you're eating because you're tired, you're eating because you're emotional. Things like that happens where we all make mistakes. We're human. And I think that we need to accept the fact that we're human. And because I find that a lot of these programs target moms and talking about how to get rid of, the mom tummy quick. And there's so much that goes into that. It took you 9 months to carry a baby. It took you 9 months to grow life inside of your womb and to gain that weight and to sustain that pregnancy. And if you're breastfeeding, to sustain that child, to nourish that child. If you're solely breastfeeding, or even if you're breastfeeding part of the time, like, your child is depending on you for nourishment. Like, that's a big ask of you as a woman. So when these quick fixes come at you and they seem tempting, learn from my mistakes. Take this to heart and remember that you are worth it. You have potential, and your weight does not define you. Your results do not define you. The person that you are as a human being, as a compassionate person to someone else or to yourself, and how much love you have for yourself at every single stage, that's what your worth is. Not the number on the scale, not a number on a measuring tape. You have to remember that. And you have to want to sustain this. And if you don't do it for yourself in the beginning, do it for your children. Show them that you can eat in moderation and in balance and provide your body the things that it needs and still enjoy life. You don't want to show your child that you're dieting all the time. If they bring you a pretzel and say, "Mommy, here, eat this," you don't want to tell them, "No, I'm sorry, I can't have that." My 3-year-old doesn't understand that. And that's one of the things that really was a light bulb for me, was when my 3-year-old brought me a pretzel when I was doing this phase of keto, and I caught myself telling her, "No, Mommy can't have that." And she asked me why. Really? I don't want to show my child that, especially my daughters. I don't want them to have that relationship with food or that relationship with their body. And that's essential to instilling these, because it's our job, especially as parents or as aunts and uncles, or as, someone impacting somebody else's life. Like, we can't be that guilt in somebody's life, or we don't want to create that anxiety and guilt surrounding the scale, food, like your health in general. So there's my rant for the day. I've just seen a lot on social media, and having done these things and put my body through it, I would rather save somebody from being in that situation and feeling like food is the enemy. Food isn't the enemy. You need nourishment to live. And I think oftentimes we think of food as the enemy, or we get this anxiety or guilt. And I don't think that these diet fads and this diet culture, where diets are just like all over the place, like you can't go anywhere without seeing it on, a weight loss ad on the side of a bus, or, opening up social media and seeing, so-and-so doing this, or seeing ads for these, fat freezing or cool sculpting or whatever. Hard work is the only way you're going to get results. And that goes into the whole aspect of this journey. That goes in, starting with mindset, and nutrition, sustainable, moderate, balanced nutrition, giving your body the nutrients that it needs to function properly. And that goes into physical activity. That doesn't mean killing yourself. That doesn't mean punishing yourself because you ate something you weren't supposed to eat. That means loving your body enough to know that it needs to be taken care of in these 3 dimensions. And developing yourself to where you can appreciate what your body has done for you and your potential that you have. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that made sense. I might have offended some people, but I just really want people to learn from my mistakes and to find something that is sustainable for them and that is going to fuel their bodies and give them the best life all around. And if I have to, give kind of a harsh reality or a harsh shake to somebody to finally realize that, then so be it. But I hope this is helpful, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. So much for tuning in today and sharing this time with me. Please stay tuned for future episodes and check out my podcast.